What is up, guys? As I said, I'm going to be doing E3 as it comes up. The Xbox panel thing just got done, and it actually surprised me. I wasn't sure what to think about when I was going into the Xbox thing because um, a lot of the games that I've seen so far never interested me. And yeah, some of these games are going to be on both Xbox and like PS4 and all of that fun stuff. But they did surprise me with a lot of the games. And I'm going to pretty much go in the order of the games that they show. The first one being new Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now, I hate Call of Duty pretty much. I pretty much hate it. The games haven't improved much at all. But at the showing of Advanced Warfare, it's going to be on the next gen console, and the graphics actually have improved. So they did something right. I noticed that there's more particles and everything as well. You know, explosions. You can see like sparks flying everywhere and whatnot. And it does seem to have a lot of the Call of Duty-esque stuff, like door gets blown open and you have to, just like struggle and finally get it closed at like the last second, and that kind of stuff. So that, but in one part they jump out of their carrier thing that's way up in the sky they jump onto a roof, and then they jump from the roof to the bottom of the building, and as they fall, apparently in this game they're going to have jetpacks, and that has like an actual physics to it, so as he was falling, he had to use it to stop his fall and slow the descent, so that way he could land safely. And then you can also use it, like when you're running around, you can use it to get on top of like a car or something like that, and all that type of fun stuff. And I also saw that there might be power suits. By power suits, I mean, I doubt you will be able to use them. If you can, that'd be cool, but it'd be OP online. But I saw in the trailer, this is all gameplay, the guy was walking behind this dude in a big suit, and it wasn't like a mech, but it was more like a power suit, probably metal this thick on it, on like the arms, and he's just sitting there walking around just like boom, boom, big bulky steps, and looked pretty awesome. If you got to wear one of those, that would be pretty sweet. And it has mecha tanks because there was this big, pretty much spider-looking thing that was crawling over everything, but it wasn't like it wasn't a humanoid mech. It was more like a arachnid mech. I don't know. Also, the HUD layout is different. Instead of having it the way it usually is, it has it like some games do, where you're pointing the gun this way, and on the back of the gun you can see the ammo count. If the clip's full, like it'll say full, and then it'll say 30 rounds. And then on the left side of the gun it'll have the amount of grenades, both special and lethal. And the grenades looked pretty awesome. You would like whenever he'd use a grenade, he'd pull it out, and then he'd sit there saying X to switch grenades. So you'd be holding it, and you'd be pressing a button to switch switch what it does. So he'd have the grenade out, say you want a smoke grenade, you press it to smoke and throw it, and it does that. Or you want a flashbang, so you press it to flash, and it does that. So that was a pretty good concept. I thought that was pretty interesting. It'd be nice to see that some more. And, tracking grenades, threw one of them up, I think it was one of the lethal ones, the thing would like have little jets on it that it would do this, and then shoot into the guys. And I thought that was pretty cool. And gore might be coming back. By gore, I mean, I think in some of the recent games like Modern Warfare 2, you might have like seen like an arm fall off and like go Black Ops. But the main character's arm was cut off at the end of the trailer, and so I'm thinking maybe they're going to have actual gore, like World at War, blown off and you see ribs gore. Anyways, I don't want to keep this too long. Forza, they promise to have instant, seamless connectivity to servers and there will not be lobby waiting and like all this stuff. It'll be press online and you're in. And they also say that you can create your own clubs and have over 1,000 members. So I'm not sure how exactly that would go. It'd be pretty cool if they managed to have like something going to where you can have everyone in at once. That would be pretty sweet. And at some of the times when they were driving, I looked at the ground, and where it's like tile, the tile looks like flat and blurry, and they weren't even moving that fast. In fact, it was slow-mo too, but even slow-mo, the ground wouldn't look blurry, so probably just some render issues. And the car doors, for some reason, they had the car doors open while they were driving. So you sitting there, they're driving cars, all of a sudden the car doors just open on all of the cars, and I was just like, okay, I don't see what that was for. And they say that there's going to be dramatic weather, yet when I was watching it, the entire time when it was like sunny out, the ground and the cars looked wet, like it had just rained at pretty much every time that they were on road. And so I'm just like, why do car games do that? It's kind of a dumb thing to do. And it's going to be an open world Forza, so that's going to be pretty cool. The Evolve trailer, not much new. You got to see a Cthulhu-looking monster, which I thought was pretty cool. And they introduced the classes, you know, like medic and soldier and like crap like that. And you can play it as the monsters. And the monsters seem pretty powerful. But as they were showing, you know, they had the giant monster, and it's the four of them fighting it, and it actually held its own, so it's going to be, as they said at the end of the trailer, it's 4v1 whenever fights happen. It's kind of weird. There is a new Assassin's Creed that they announced during the Xbox thing, and it's the first next-gen exclusive, and it takes place in the French Revolution, whatever year that was, in the 1800s, I think. And on there you can form your own brotherhood, you know, get your friends to play online in the campaign as well, which is pretty sick. It seemed that the one guy had like a wrist crossbow, because at one point he was playing online with 3 other guys, so it was 4 people playing a campaign mission. And in it, this guy kills one of the guards, 2 of the guards actually, and then a guard comes out of nowhere, and before he spots him, he quick puts his hands up, and you see 2 things shoot from him, and the guard's dead. There's new executions. The guy like jumped off the building, went through the window, came up behind some guards, brought him down, and on the one on the right, he probably wasn't dead all the way, so he took his other blade and brought it down. So that was pretty cool, seeing more interactiveness with the people, and like I said, multiplayer. The citizens mobbed. Like, at one point, guards were keeping them out of the castle, and as soon as the people took out the guards, the mob just ran into the place and was just freaking out, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's awesome. Guards that has smart AI. There was a girl that walked by in like big dress, and the guard was about to walk through the doorway and saw the girl, and he's just like, hey baby, call me later. I thought that was pretty funny. And you can use battle axes again, and there might be gore. The reason I say this is because at the end of the trailer, the head of the one dude was decapitated. So if there's gore, that'd be sweet. They briefly showed off Inquisition with not a whole lot of stuff. The world looked very dynamic, and it had some kind of disturbing looking creatures and monsters, but the world was amazing, the graphics were amazing, the customization of the characters looked real. Like, you can make characters that never look the same as other ones, and like can get really in depth with it. By the looks of it, they didn't actually show any. The spells and attacks looked pretty awesome, and the spells kind of looked, reminded me of Skyrim a little bit, I don't know. And at one point there's dragon flying by and like breathing fire, and the fire just looks beautiful. Like, it's there's no way to explain it. If you didn't see it, then but Fire looks awesome, and I can't wait for that game. That's one of the games that I'm waiting for this year, but I just know that if nothing else, I'm going to play it at my friend's on his PS4. They also showed Dead Rising 3 arcade thing, which is kind of stupid. And it's just like, hey, all the characters, cosplay, bah! Basically saying you can make your own stuff. And at one point, the guy was dressed as, I don't know which character it was, but he was dressed as, I think, Ken from Street Fighter. And he was using a Hadouken. So they're adding that too. It's not an actual game, it's just like an arcade, like, minigame thing. Sunset Overdrive was really funny. At first it looked as if it was going to be a war game, because they didn't show what it was. You had this guy, a soldier, hiding behind a crate, and a whole bunch of, like, resistance people shooting at him. The guy runs out of ammo, and it's just like, what am I supposed to do now? Then dude just busts through a door saying Insomniac, and he saves him, and as he's, like, running, he, like, shoots a dude in the head. Like, when the blood spurts out, it just says ouch in the blood. So the game's pretty funny. It's got, like, a lot of onomatopoeia and stuff. At the end of the trailer, there's, like, a nuke that goes off, and the thing, like, goes high in the air, and it says boom in the middle of the mushroom cloud. So it's pretty awesome. They also mentioned 8-player multiplayer, which I don't know how that would feel. But I'm never going to play this game, more than likely, because I don't plan on getting an Xbox One, as awesome as all these games looked. I'm sorry. You can customize your characters, you know, outfits and whatnot. They introduced bosses like they did in Borderlands. You know, the Herker, I think was his name, came in, and the screen just kind of did a boom comic book thing with it saying Herker. And I'm just like, oh, that's kind of cool. Fable Legends they introduced, and in this one, it looked friggin' awesome. The magic in this game is the one that really looks like Skyrim, like in Fable. I don't remember exactly how it looked last time I played Fable, but in this one it's camera based, so you know, she's sitting there doing like a big ice spell, and she's moving it with the camera, and like everything freezes, and when it's frozen, if another character hits it, then it shatters, and shattering looks awesome. What else? It's going back to Fable roots and like fantasy roots, where, you know, Jesus, where it's sword and shield and heavy armor and all that awesome stuff. And so I cannot wait for it. You can also play as the villain. Oh, also all characters are online characters, or can be. But you can also play as the villain, and as the villain it kind of looks RTS-y. You know, you put a bunch of minions and enemies here, and like you don't actually attack, but you put on, like, say 4 enemies here, put a spell trap here, and put some more enemies here, bigger spell trap here, and like stuff like that. And so that was pretty interesting. They had a thing called Project Spark that they showed off, and I'm sorry about that, but they had a thing called Project Spark, and it looked awesome. You can create your own games, and in there I also saw a no, it was not in Project Spark, but in Project Spark you can create your own games and a bunch of other stuff. And at the end, I kind of lost it a little bit. You saw Conker come out through the back with a chainsaw, saw the thing in half, and be like, "We haven't gotten a game in 10 years, so we gotta make our own." And then it said it, you know, Conker only available in Project Spark. So I'm just like, oh my god, I want it. There was a indie game that they showed called Ori and the Blind Forest. It kind of reminded me of Limbo. This big black thing, saw a white thing that fell with this guy. I found it, just like, oh, and then like became friends with it, played with it a lot. And then my feed like died for a second. I'm watching on TV and the feed died. And next thing I know, I just see a big thing flying through the sky and the white thing running around, trying to find the black thing, I guess. And at one point he finds it, and it's dead. And he's just like sitting there, trying to like wake it up, and like the guy's lying there, and his arm just falls off of his chest and just lays there. It's like, oh my god, feels. Poor thing. They showed a lot of what was it? I can't remember. I think it was ID at Xbox, something like that. Had a thing where you can make your own indie games. And in there I saw one, I don't remember the name of it, but it was an obvious Mega Man game. Like, the character's sprite looked pretty much exactly like Mega Man. He's running around with his arm out with like a cannon on it as a side scroller, like 8-bit side scroller. I was like, oh my god. See, Capcom, this is how bad we want it. We're making our own Mega Man games now. And it was pretty funny. There was also another one, like, in these indie games you can have it like 3D or 2D, top, bottom, or third person, or first person, and all this stuff, and it just looked awesome. There's one that I saw briefly called Hellraid, which looked medieval. Kinda reminded me of an Elder Scrolls style RPG, although some of the enemies were completely different, and it just looked awesome. And I was blown away by the trailer after that. It wasn't a gameplay trailer, but it was just like a trailer, and this guy sitting there talking to what looks like a teen girl with a hoodie on, and whatnot. But basically, new Tomb Raider looks awesome, and just beautifulness is everything about it. I want it. Witcher 3 is coming out. They showed some more of that. Basically, they were hunting a griffin and doing stuff like that, so that's all I can really say about that, because it just looks awesome. You can slice people to pieces, facial muscles look awesome, like one girl like did this and you could see her forehead wrinkle a little bit, and after he got the griffin, like, he was riding into a town with a head on the side of his thing. I didn't know some of the games that were in here, like Phantom Dust. That game I had never heard of, but apparently that's an old one. So that's coming back, I guess. They also talked about Killer Instinct, but said nothing about it, really. They showed nothing. The Division, they showed some of the same footage that they did last time that they showed it. And it looks pretty cool. I like the way it looks. The way that everything interacts is very realistic. At one point, the guy's hiding behind like one of the bus stops and getting shot at. The bullets are going through the glass, but the glass doesn't completely shatter, it just leaves holes where the bullets go, and the one piece is getting dented where he's getting shot at. And I still don't know if the dialogue is online or not, because sometimes it looks like it's online, sometimes it doesn't. They showed Crackdown, which looked friggin' awesome. There's nothing I can say about it because it wasn't actually gameplayness, but it reminds me a lot of the original Crackdown. They showed this game called Scalebound. I don't remember the game people who did it, but it looked pretty awesome. This guy got headphones on him, he acts, acting all cocky, and it's like a big dragon thing, and it's like a big other thing that comes out, and monsters were fighting each other, and the dude walked away for a second. They turned around, took out like some magic bow, shot the thing, thought he killed it or something, so he's just like, that's what I thought. And it's like starts walking away, then he turns back and sees it's like coming at him, so he's like, okay, whatever. Puts on his headphones, music starts playing, all of a sudden just boom, giant rock scale armor on him, and he just freaking freaks out on them. And he can become they showed a Hydra as well, and it looked pretty awesome. It looked like a modern fantasy type thing. That's all that they showed that I was interested in. Either that I was interested in, or that was all. I can't think right now. But all in all, Xbox press conference was extremely awesome. Sorry this video took so long, but Xbox press conference, awesome. They did not have any tech issues, which I was hoping they would, because it's always funny when people have tech issues. And it's just looks beautiful. I cannot wait for more, and I hope that Call of Duty hopes to go back into innovativeness, and I hope that the games that they show live up to the hype that they're giving them. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will record more once the next thing starts.